Here's something I've watched happen for more than 20 years. The people who earn the most are not always the ones who build wealth. In fact, I've seen people earn 4 or 5 times more than someone else and still retire with less to show for it. That's because being broke has very little to do with how much money you earn, and almost everything to do with one decision you keep making every single month. If you understand that one decision, you'll understand why some people never escape the broke life, even when every promotion comes with a bigger paycheck. That's why the words behind me matter so much to me. What I get doesn't describe my worth. What I do with it does, because at some point, I had to stop measuring my financial life by what I earned and start measuring it by what that money was actually building. Freedom or pressure, peace or more commitments, because over the years, I learned something the hard way. Income and financial freedom are not the same thing. For over 20 years, I worked with 2 people. One was the manager, the other was her driver. The manager earned about 4 times more than the driver. Whenever they travelled for work, her travel allowances were several times larger than his. She could afford to shop, she bought gifts, she provided for family. From the outside, she looked successful. The driver lived much more quietly. Then something happened that I've never forgotten. The manager was told she would retire in 6 months. One day she said something that completely stopped me. She said, "At least these 6 months will give me enough time to buy the roofing sheets for my house." That surprised me, because the driver had already finished building his house. Not only had he finished, his house was almost twice the size, and he still had years before retirement. I couldn't stop thinking about it. How could someone earning so much more end up with so much less? It wasn't luck. It wasn't intelligence. It wasn't opportunity. It was something much deeper. I realised something. Most people think earning more money solves money problems. It doesn't. It usually magnifies them. Here's what happens. The day you start earning a salary, something changes inside your mind. Before your first paycheck even arrives, you begin making promises to it. I'll finance the car. I'll buy the furniture. I'll upgrade the phone. I can manage that monthly payment. I'll pay it next month. Without noticing it, you've spent tomorrow's paycheck before you've even received it. Month after month, the commitments grow, the paycheck grows too. But so do the promises you've made against it. Eventually, your income no longer belongs to you. It already belongs to everyone else. People often think debt is the problem. Debt isn't the first problem. Overcommitment isn't even the first problem. The first problem is believing that future income is already yours. So every raise creates another commitment. Every promotion creates another payment. Every bonus disappears before it arrives. Your paycheck no longer creates freedom. It simply services yesterday's decisions. That's why someone earning a modest income can quietly build wealth, while someone earning 4 times as much still feels broke. Not because they earn too little, but because every dollar already has an owner before payday. This changed the way I think about money. I stopped asking, how much do I earn? And started asking, how much of my income actually belongs to me? Those are very different questions. One measures income, the other measures freedom. And freedom, not income, is what eventually builds wealth. If there's one thing I hope you remember from this video, it's this. More income doesn't automatically end the broke life. Sometimes, it simply makes the broke life more expensive. And remember, what you get doesn't describe your worth. What you do with it does. See you in the next one.